Well, folks, 2 reactions in a row that we're going to be coming on here talking about a Rangers win. I can't remember the last time there was 2 in a row, but Hibernian 0, Rangers 1. An absolutely fantastic performance from the defence and the midfield. The creative players we'll maybe discuss in a little bit, but make no mistake about it. Make no mistake about it. That is an absolutely huge win for us tonight. Many teams will go to Easter Road and really struggle. Hibs are a very decent team in Scotland, and we went there and got the 3 points. That wouldn't have been possible 2 or 3 weeks ago. That wouldn't have been possible a week ago to go Easter Road and get that result. I don't think so. Fair play to all the players. Fair play to Danny Rowe. Fair play to the coaching staff. Whatever they're doing right now seems to be working. And game on game, we're getting better. We are getting better. A lot to improve on. But to go to Easter Road and get a win, that's a massive win for the club. Massive win for the players. Massive win for the supporters. So, yes, hello, everybody. Welcome to your post-match reaction here on the Rangers Rabble Podcast, brought to you by the Rabble Network and not my hair. Let's just establish that right away. Right. My name's Martin. I'm your host, and my co-hosts tonight are Connor and Mark. Connor, mate, I want to just jump straight into it. I don't think it can be understated how big a win that is for us.
No, it cannot. It is a massive win. This was, and it's part 1 of 2, and a huge week for us. There's no doubt about it. This, to me, hopefully can lay a bit of the foundation going into Sunday, because you need to, excuse me, my phone just pings there, because you need to build momentum going into these games, and back-to-back wins is a very good way to go into a semi-final. But today, Hibs, and we were talking about it before we came on air, and you mentioned in your opening monologue there as well, that Hibs are a very decent side. Look at when they came to Ibrox in the Cup, but for the, that slender handball, which is a handball, it could have been a different story, and Hibs had played well to that point in that game as well. So they're dangerous. They were unbeaten in the last 3 times that we've played them in the league. So everything tonight pointed towards a very difficult evening. And I felt, even though the scoreline was 1-0, in general, it was a much calmer performance from us. Yes, we'll talk about the penalty, because that was the only moment of, I think, wobble, the only moment of madness that we've seen in the game. It was almost very costly, but at this time of year, Jack Butland saves penalties for Jamie McGrath. We should just know this. It's just what he does.
He does.
But I thought the defence looked really decent tonight. It was a calm performance. I thought Giga, we've all given him a lot of stick. I thought he was really good. I thought that tackle he made when he tracked back, and okay, turns out it was offside anyway, but he didn't know that at the time. None of us did. It's a tremendous tackle. The timing in that is brilliant. And yeah, we need a bit of work up top, no doubt. But Danny Rowe said, and I'll go back to his comments when he came in the door, that his priority would be focusing on winning games first, and then you can worry about the style in which you get there. And so far, between Sunday and today, you can argue that's exactly what's happened. We've won the games. It's not been pretty the whole way through, but we've got the job done, and I think we've got to be very happy with that tonight.
Well, it's only Danny Rowe's second game, Mark, and he's already got more league wins than Russell Martin.
Yes, he got a tune out of the team in two games, well, 3 games, sorry, but 2 domestic games. He's got a tune out of the players more than Martin could out in how long was he in charge? 100 odd days. So you can already see a marked improvement in the squad. They even look more together. They're fighting for each other. They're running for the balls. They're getting back. There's no moaning. You can see them at the end of the game as well. There's a little bit of afters, and they're all sticking up for each other, and they're out for the manager. So it's night and day from what we've been served up at the start of the season. So I'm quietly confident, quite happy with the win, because it was a scrappy win, but we looked quite comfortable at points. But we should have put them to the sword, I think. Maybe got another couple of goals, but there's still some of that back pass play that I'm not overly keen on. When there's forward opportunities, they tend to go backwards and shift it between the defence and the goalkeeper, which needs to be stamped out of the team, unless it's vitally important to send it back the way. But there's a few times where we've turned the ball over because we could have went forward but decided to go back. But overall, I'm happy because it's a tough ground to go to, like Connor said, and we've got the 3 points. So I'm quite happy, and the Jack Butland penalty just tops it off for me. So I'm quite happy tonight.
Yeah, I mean, we've all come to that in a wee minute, I would say. I think we're going to enjoy the win before we come to the penalty. But Stephen McNeilage, welcome to the Rabble supporters tier on YouTube. Thank you very much for the support, my friend. And as I always say when new members join, I do hope you enjoy all the extra content. Connor, our very good friend in Australia, Mr. Stephen Robertson, might be getting a wee bit too ahead of himself, but you know what? I'm going to love it tonight. Let's be happy tonight. As Rangers supporters, I think we can afford to be happy. Big Sunday on the way, but massive super chat from our good friend Stephen Robertson. Connor, we're going to win the league.
I mean, we're still quite some distance away. It has to be said. But, you know, you can only take it a game at a time. But listen, nothing wrong with getting a wee bit carried away from time to time. And I think if you can't, after a very good performance and good win tonight, a win that, if we're all being honest, probably we weren't all sitting in it. We were maybe in hope more than expectation tonight, given the circumstances. So, yeah, I mean, why not? We're still 11 points behind Hearts, and obviously 5 behind that lot across the road. So, you know, you've got to make sure you're taking them off. But I tell you what, see if we can get past Celtic on Sunday and get into the League Cup final. I think you can start to build a momentum from there. I think you can really, because regardless of their win tonight against Falkirk, if they come and then lose on Sunday, the pressure comes back on them. Hearts can go and extend their lead at the weekend, albeit with us and Celtic having a game in hand. But I think, you know, in terms of winning the league, well, let's just let's put a pin in that. Let's just say,
let's focus on the next game. But I mean, let's also enjoy the win, because let's face it, we haven't had a lot to celebrate lately, and we can maybe start to see a way back in. Like I say, our attacking play needs some serious improvement. And I'm going to come to Danilo in a wee second. I want to touch on this and get it out the road. A tweet an hour ago from Hibs, probably just over an hour ago. Bowie is caught in the face by Magoma, and the referee blows for a foul, with the Rangers man escaping a second booking. Now, Mark, I think Kieran Bowie is an absolutely fantastic striker, right? I wouldn't be against Rangers going for the boy, because I think he's got real quality. But that was embarrassing, and I hate diving. Even if Rangers players do it, I'll call it out. I despise diving. It's my absolute pet hate in football.
I think that's you.
But mate, Kieran Bowie's got to hang his head in shame with it.
Aye, that was when I was saying to the TV, that's disgraceful. Why is he not getting carded? He basically touches him in the chest area, and then he jumps up as if he's been hit in the face and grabs his face and starts rolling around. It should have been a yellow card to Bowie and a free kick to us.
Yeah,
there was nothing in that challenge at all. But I suppose that's the modern game. It's been like that for a while, and I'm not sure how many years exactly, but it's been like that for a while, where players are diving at anything, any opportunity to get a player carded, especially one that's yellow carded already, and get them sent off. So, but that's you'd expect the club to stick up for the players, but I mean, no one it's that obvious, surely.
I mean, look, I'm not going to be a hypocrite, right, Connor? If it was a Rangers player, I would go, "What are you doing? That is totally embarrassing." But I would take the second yellow, right? So I get where Hibs fans will come for it, right? And I don't really care where Hibs fans come for it, right? But the only reason Bowie's done that is because Magoma's already booked, and I just think it's really poor.
It's very poor. I mean, the whoever's put that up on the Hibs socials must have put that up before they seen the replay back, because with the replay it's very apparent. There was no hiding place with the replay. It was clear. It was on the chest. Now, I think Magoma needs to be a little bit smarter, if I'm being slightly critical on him, and just don't get involved. Because, to be fair, I'm not entirely sure why his arm had to come round in the first place and give Bowie the option. diving like that. I think when you're on a booking, you just need to maybe be smarter. But because as much as John Beaton, to be fair to him, did not brandish a second booking, gave the foul because I guess because he's gone down, you can argue there's a foul in it. Not for me personally, but anyway. But I just think, it's appalling. And to be fair, there was a fair bit of that for Hibs tonight. There was, and there was times, particularly in the second half, McGrath going down and all the rest of it, and you think you're the ones who are behind in the game, so you're wasting your own time. What are you trying to achieve? And I felt for Magoma because I think Danny Rowe took him off at half time because he recognised that with that situation, even though it was an absolute disgrace, the behaviour of Kieran Bowie to dive, he recognised that if another situation like that pops up and Magoma being on a booking, John Beaton's probably going to give him the second yellow and send him off. And he made a smart decision to remove him. But unfortunately, it's a part of the game that will go nowhere anytime soon.
Can we dispense with the whole man of the match thing and just give it to Danilo's dad? Can we just agree?
Yeah.
Danilo's dad was man of the match tonight. Yeah.
And can we just say, if Danilo's dad happens to be watching this, do contact Martin, because we would be delighted to have you on the show.
Listen, I just want him to teach me his dance moves. Honestly, that guy did not stop. Fair play to him. No, excellent. By the how good must it be? But to go to the football and your son scores the winning goal, and then you get to cuddle him after it. That's the dream, man. That is the absolute dream. And talking about Danilo, Connor, a man who has came back in from literally nowhere, some horrible injuries, not getting minutes under Clement, not getting minutes under Barry Ferguson, not getting minutes really under Russell Martin. Danny Rowe, I was going to say rolls in the door, but I'm not going to say it. Danny Rowe walks in the door, he gets a start. What a finish, Connor, mate, and welcome back, Danilo.
It's a brilliant finish, a really, really cultured finish. No chance to the keeper. He has found that bottom corner, the bottom bag, just beautifully. And do you know what? It's also the finish of a man whose confidence is clearly starting to pick up, because to take that on as he did, I think at times are guilty of overplaying around the box. I think there's times when there's a shot on and we don't take it, and we're trying to pass and get it around here and get it. Sometimes when that wee pocket of space opens up, just have a pop. Why not? And that's what he's done. It's a brilliant finish. It's a great time to score. See, when you're away from home, a place like Easter Road as well, always a good time to score early on in the game.
Huge goal.
It settles you down just nicely, and you can kind of start building from there in your way into the match. And I think, again, add that to his goal at the weekend, which, by the way, is a fantastic header. Whatever you want to say about the Kilmarnock defending, which was poor, none of us will deny that. It's a terrific header to just flick that back across into the bottom corner as well. Seems to like the bottom corners. So long may that continue. I
mean, the first, like Connor's saying there, Mark, the first touch just to move it out, like Chris Boyd said at half time, it opens up the whole goal. It's a phenomenal finish and an absolutely huge goal, because the conversation before the game was, are we going to have to sit back in the beginning and soak up the pressure because of the kind of tactics that the manager was going with? There wasn't really an outlet, and we will come on to Chermiti, but to get that early goal, it just settled us right down, Mark.
It was a nicely timed goal, nice and early. There was a beautiful finish as well, the little touch before the shot. These last two goals have been top quality. I think the header was a belter when you see it back. So that one there in that game was probably just a little bit better, I'd say. But it settled the team down, and we played quite well throughout the rest of the first half, I think. And then obviously it changed a little bit in the second, but we'll get into that anyway. But the goal was nice, and it's obviously just going to build his confidence. And hopefully he can be the striker, because I think he is the best natural finisher at the club. I think he just needs a run of games, a bit of confidence. Like, he seems to be getting more confidence, so hopefully he can start banging in the goals for us, and he can be that guy we need up front.
Oh, 100%, mate. Jordy, imagine your dad coming to your work and outshining you. No, I suppose his dad kind of did, didn't he? Unbelievable takers.
I mean, to be fair, Jordy, you should go to Peterhead games with Martin. He's constantly outshining his brother. It's ridiculous.
That's a completely different Martin. That's not the real Martin at Peterhead. Let me tell you. Right, okay, let's hear from man of the moment, Jack Butland. And I mean, somebody who I've criticised no end lately, a certain Mr. John Sewer.
Jack, John, well done. John, how pleasing a win was that tonight?
Yeah, look, it's a big win for us. We've been really poor at the start of the season. It's important we get some momentum, and that's a small step tonight. I think it's a small step, but I thought we dug in. I thought in periods when, especially second half, when Hibs had a lot of the ball, I thought we showed our character. First half, I thought we were really good on the ball, but second half we had to get the other side of us, that grit. And obviously the big man comes up with a big save at the end, and that's what he does. So, yeah, look, it's a small step, but it's an improvement.
Is that something that's been missing?
Yeah, definitely. I think you're not going to be dominating games all the time, and when you don't, you need to be solid. And I thought for large spells of that second half we were. Obviously, we want to be better on the ball. We want to be more aggressive. But it's a long run of games for us, and there's going to be times in this league where you need to dig wins out, and we did today.
Jack, just talk us through that penalty save.
Yeah, listen, faced him before when he was at Aberdeen, and
a year ago and saved it.
Yeah, and it went well then. So listen, it's always potluck. I'm happy. Did my homework a little bit, and it paid off. But it was important for us. Do you know what I mean? It was we're a young group, we're a new group that's learning, that's been through a lot, really some difficult times. So like John said, the fight that we showed is something that we're really going to need going forward. So that was really good to see, and yeah, just pleased I was able to help us out, and the boys fully deserve that anyway.
That's the first away clean sheet this calendar year. How pleasing is that for the two of you, and what does that say?
I mean, it's something that we needed to sort out. It's something that's been really important for us, something that we've really focused on. Like I said, that group, that's for everyone in the group that we really needed that. And sometimes 1-0s are better than 3s and 4s. Yeah, really important for us.
John, what's the manager changed and tweaked in the last week or so?
I think he's not actually had that much time. We've had 3 games in his first week. But I think we've changed our back 5. It's made us a bit more solid. But look, it's down to us players. The manager's put us in the pitch. It's important that we go in there, show our character, run hard for the club. And tonight we did that, and we got the rewards.
How does this set you up for Sunday now?
Yeah, look, it's going to be massive Sunday. And we're in a good spot off the back of 2 wins. So looking forward to Sunday. Yeah, we need to recover, rest and recover. And I'm sure the manager will have a game plan for Sunday.
Jack saved the penalty, but you are the William Hill Premiership Player of the Match. Well done.
Well done. Thank you. Keep up, Sam.
Well, I mean, Suter was brilliant tonight, to be fair to him. He was. But man of the match? I'm not really sure. But that doesn't really matter in the grand scale of things. But Jack Butland said...
In a breath there, Martin, you've demoted him from outstanding to brilliant, like a heartbeat.
Yeah,
you started that, he was brilliant.
Listen, I'm a professional, right? I know what I'm doing. Jack Butland calling a penalty save potluck. He better hope Alan McGregor doesn't hear him, by the way. He really better hope Alan McGregor doesn't hear him. But a clean sheet was mentioned there, first clean sheet, Mark. Huge as well. What was it? Something like 20 odd games without a clean sheet.
25 or something. 25 away games, something like that.
So to finally get that at a place like Easter Road, with a Hibs team who do score for fun, the actual talk tonight was how high is the score going to be between the two teams, because they both struggle defensively, but we both kind of score goals, even though Hibs are probably a little bit better at scoring goals than us, to be fair. But to get a clean sheet at Easter Road's massive.
As if you go off the form that we've been displaying for the last, I don't know how far that goes back. I think there's 25 games in total. The last 25 games, I think that includes European and Cup games. So it's been quite a little bit of time. So, and especially at Hibs, like you say, because they're usually free scoring when it comes to playing against us. I think we dug in. We were quite dogged in the defending tonight, which was nice to see. There was actually a bit of togetherness and effort with the defence, and it seemed like some sort of a cohesive unit, which it hasn't looked like the whole season. So I'm happy to see it, but I just don't know where it's been for the last X amount of months. But definitely stuck in, done well, defended well, and obviously we'll come away with a clean sheet and a win, which is also going to give the defence a bit of confidence, and Jack Butland a bit of confidence as well. So I'm happy with the defensive effort tonight.
Suter's not the first player, Connor, to come out and say, we've not been good enough. Which obviously no player was saying when Russell Martin was in charge. And it's nice to hear the honesty. Not that it means much, but because what's happened in the past has absolutely happened. But then he's asked about, well, what's happened, what's changed? And you could see in his eyes there that he wanted to say, the managers gave us belief. The managers gave us a tactical system to work off of. That's what's changed.
Absolutely, and you can see that is like. The first thing I will say is I think the back three suits John Souttar absolutely perfectly.
It really does.
Which doesn't surprise me because, and I know there's some people that don't, but as you guys know, I'm an avid watcher of Scotland. I watch all the Scotland games, and more often than not, Scotland have John Souttar in a back three. Yes, with the sort of wing back roles, but it is that back sort of central three, and people keep saying to me, well, he always seems to play well for Scotland, but no Rangers. That's why, because he clearly prefers a back three. Even when he was at Hearts, he was in a back three. So I think Danny Rowe is maybe starting to figure right. And we know he'll change between. He won't just stick to a back three. I think he does it per game. He will go to back fours at times. But the last couple of games, certainly it has worked quite well for him. And I think, look, we know what happened with Russell Martin. It was directionless. It was rudderless. There wasn't. I think the players didn't really know what they were doing. I think under Danny Rowe, you can see that they're starting to understand what their role is right now. They're still very raw. That was actually completely unintentional for a change for me there. They're still very raw. It has to be said. There is still a lot of areas needing improvement, but it's a good base, a solid base to build on, and if the back three works for the likes that you're sitting that, I think great. I think again, as I say, I actually think Giga was for me the best defender on the park tonight. I can, I'm not against Souttar getting the man of the match, but I'd have been giving it to Barron or Giga personally. Some others may disagree, but no, listen, there is improvement there. Hopefully that continues because as we see, we need more and we need consistent. Can we keep going on a run? Can we put 2 wins in a row now? Can we go and put 3 together and then 4 and try and get ourselves to the international break in a far better shape than we got to in the last one?
Yeah, 100%. First half, Mark, everything was going through Magoma. I thought he was absolutely outstanding. For a young guy, he's no shy. He's absolutely not shy. He'll put the foot in. He's not scared to try things on the park. He can deliver a fantastic cross, by the way. But my question before the start of the game was, where's the creativity coming from in this Rangers team tonight with the way that it's set up? Well, that was coming from really Magoma. And the fact that he had to be taken off at half-time, I actually think that was a bigger blow than we realise for us in that second half, because you could see the space that he left.
You could see in the first half he was into every challenge. He was up and down the wing. The crosses, like you say, are some decent crosses like we've been missing for a while. We've not had a player that can deliver a decent cross into the box. Just nobody was there to take advantage of them. But he did look. He's got a bit of bite about him for such a young, and he's quite a small lad. Like slight. I mean, he's not like small as in his height, but he's quite slender. But he's got a bit of bite about him as well. Mm-hmm. He's getting in amongst the challenges and stuff like that, which is nice to see. Because he obviously didn't take it too far, but he definitely was a creative outlook for us in the first half. And then, like you say, when he took him off, you could see it did have an impact on us. But I was really impressed with the defence as a whole. I think in this game, it's just markedly different from what we've all been watching the last X amount of games. So it was really nice. But he definitely stood out to me. I think Giga was one that did stand out. He actually looked like he can defend for a change, which is a surprise. So I think overall the defence has done pretty well. So I was quite impressed with Magoma in that first half. It's a shame he had to come off, but I suppose keep him for the weekend and saves him getting a red card maybe if he goes into a challenge.
Yeah, I mean 100%. You could tell, and as Calvin's saying there, Connor, you could see the difference when Magoma came off in that second half, Connor. But actually, before you answer that, like you said, but maybe that's something that he needs to work on. He's only a young guy. What is he, 18 years old? Never really played men's football. It's always been, the youth football down south. So he's learning every week as well. And I mean, he's done that. He's had his, a couple of bad games here and there, as most of the players in this Rangers team have. But he's done no bad.
Yeah, he's done okay. And listen, he is still a young lad, so there is that element of maturity that will come. And you hope that that's part of what Danny Rowe can bring to the coaching aspect, and obviously his team behind him. And we know that potentially in the coming days, whether it'll be before or after the cup final, there will be an addition to that setup as well, with a quote-unquote Rangers man in there, in the shape of Steve Davis or Neil McCann, both of which are very good coaches in their own right, and certainly can help a player like that as well. Again, there was a difference when he came off. It was a change that had to happen. I think most people at half-time actually said, you know what, they're sensible changes he's made there.
Yeah.
It wasn't rolling the dice and taking that risk. But we'll give him 15, 20 minutes and then because that could be the difference. Quite rightly we said earlier that the situation with Bowie was just appalling behaviour for Bowie, but despite that, he's in the referee's mind after that then, so you've got to be a bit mindful of that. But I think we'll see more of him. I think as he gets his feet under him and you start to get that more game time into him, I think he'll be absolutely fine.
And just very quickly, Connor, if it's feasible, right now, I mean, obviously, look, things can change, right, in football so quickly. Right now, if it was feasible, is Montgomery a player you'd be looking for us to buy?
If it was feasible and you could get a reasonable enough price on him, I don't see any reason why not, because you do have to, as well as bringing in your experienced players and the rest of it and developing, he is somebody that if you get it right and you get a decent enough price and you can bring him in and shape him, particularly as the season goes on, if he does show that improvement, because I think you need to see more improvement for him, but if he shows those signs, then you could turn him into a potentially very, very good player and down the line, could become a lucrative player for you in terms of turning a profit on him. Again, this is well in the future. We don't know this for sure. I'm not saying that because the next few weeks and months he could turn out to be dross. You never know. But I think if you keep seeing improvements from him, I don't see a reason why you wouldn't.
Problem is, the more improvements you see from him, the more expensive he becomes.
That is very true. Yeah,
that is absolutely. And look, I think he's a cracking player. I don't know many players that have came on loan or in transfer and have took so quickly, especially at that age, which is, I think, what impresses me really the most. I really don't want to be saying too much negative things here, Mark. Gassama came on at half time, wasn't really in the game, kept slipping everywhere, decision making wasn't great. Is there a worry that if this is the formation, if this is the way that the manager wants to at least start games and set up, that it doesn't really suit him?
Maybe that specific formation, but then Rawls quite good at tweaking, so I don't think it's going to be a sign for the future, because he's had them before. Obviously, it was at Sheffield Wednesday. He had them before it there, so he's done well from there. So I don't think he's going to neglect his talents. I don't think he's going to set up only to suit him, but I don't think he's going to go a totally opposite way where he can't get in the team. I think he was really poor that second half when he came on. He had a few times where he's overthinking it, overplaying, but keeping the ball too long, not releasing the pass or not taking a shot quick enough. But maybe he's just lacking a bit of confidence and he's taking a wee bit longer. Most of the players have kicked in after 2 games under the new management, where maybe he's going to take a little bit longer. But I'm not particularly worried that he's going to be shut out in the cold with this formation. I think he'll be fine.
Is it just a case of Connery's a winger and that's what happens sometimes?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, Gassama, we've seen flashes of what he can be, and believe me when I say this, right? When he came here, Sheffield Wednesday fans said to us, listen, in the big games he turns up, but he has a tendency of going missing at times, against the so-called lesser opponents, right? And Danny Rowe will know that better than anybody because he worked with him at Sheffield Wednesday, and if anything, he'd hope he could pick up where he left off with Gassama at Wednesday and start that process again. And listen, wingers are like that as well. Let's be honest about it. We all loved Big Sima when he was here. He was never the cleanest player. No. He was incredibly clumsy at times, and he did sometimes. His decision making did let him down. you know. But we'd all love to keep him because you could see the raw talent that he possessed. Tierney was the same, especially when he first came in, you know. So again, I think you have to. I think you have to give it time. You know, and because I can see a raw talent there. And the thing about Gassama, he's one of the few players that we did bring in the summer that was a permanent move. So he is our player, and that means we need to be looking to develop him, because what you can't do is just keep recycling players every year. You need to have some stability in the squad, and I think he's shown glimpses, but we need to see a lot more. There's no question about it.
Yeah, we need to see a lot more for every player still. You know, we haven't hugely improved. I mean, like winning 2 games in a row, going to Easter Road and winning, with the season unfolding the way that it's unfolded. We have improved quite a bit, but there's still so much more to come for this Rangers team, and I think there's still so much more to come from Danny Rowe and his coaching staff. Speaking of the manager / head coach / doesn't he get involved with the transfers / Kevin Thelwell. Anyway, let's hear for the manager, shall we? Who spoke to Rangers TV after the win.
Danny, a dramatic ending, but you must be delighted to get those 3 points over the line.
Yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very proud for my team because I know when you put so much effort in and then at the end there is a pen, you never know what happens. But my team did really well today. It's about winning football games, and to win football games you need a lot of things. And today my team showed that we can suffer sometimes, that we can defend as a group, that we are more and more connected, that we are running for each other. And if we do this basic rights, then we have always a chance to win games, because we have a lot of quality in the team. But at first it's about this hard working.
Yeah, is that the most pleasing part, that the side showed different sort of faces to the game throughout the 90 minutes?
Yeah, I think when I take the last 2 games at home, we had a lot of ball possession, fine solution. We created a lot of opportunities in possession. Today it was about be good organized. Of course, the early goal helps, and then it was about have a good rest defense. And second half was for me clear. Give them not too much space behind our last line, invite them a little bit more, that we can attack them then in transition moments. In this part we were not clinical enough to create the big chances, but all in all was important for me to see how we are growing at the moment as a group. And you feel it in the locker room. And big thank you to our fans. I think they appreciate as well the effort today. And I think if we do our job on the pitch, we will have a great relationship and a connection to our fans, and this is what we want to do. Bring winning games back, bring this success back, and this is our job.
Yeah, in the side start to the game, you obviously got ahead inside 5 minutes. It takes courage to come to a venue like this and play the way you did.
Yeah, we spoke about to beat the opponent who was unbeaten since 16 games at home. Yeah, this is exactly the challenge we need, and these are also some signals to growing together, and this is good. When you see it was the first clean sheet after over 1 year, I think. Then we beat the team at home or away who was unbeaten since 16 games. I think it's fantastic, and we showed a good team performance.
Yeah, you mentioned that clean sheet. That can only help just build confidence throughout the group, can't it?
Yeah, I think when you defend, if you want 85, 90 minutes after the 1-0, then is great, because I think now we have two things. On the weekend we were very focused after the 1-1, and we won the game. And today we come through some difficult moments and we suffer as a group. We put effort in, we run, we fight, we help each other, and these 2 things are basics.
Now, as soon as he started talking there, I'm going to bring up these, as it's 5 comments. So Gemini, love how he says, my team taking responsibility. Jordy, my team, that's what I want to hear. Venom Edge, that's not the Martin Wynn. There's a massive improvement on last season. That's not the comment I was going to bring up yet. I like it. He takes it on himself for the my team stuff. Love the my team. And Connor, this is the point. The togetherness this guy has brought already from our very own Alan. Straight away, it's his responsibility. It's his team. It's when they win, it's the players. When they get beat, it's him. It's actually, quite infuriating how much we as supporters need to hear that. Oh, Connor's on mute. That's ridiculous behaviour.
It's because I was listening to Danny Rowe, you know. Listen, yeah, absolutely. The whole point is that everybody's got to be in it together, you know, from the head coach or a manager, whatever you've got, which is a head coach for us, right through all the coaching staff and the players. You have to generate and create that feeling because that's how you'll get the best out of players. Even some of the players that might not necessarily have all the qualities that you require, that's how you get the best out of them. You know, you make them understand and feel that this is a collective, you know, this is all of us in it together. And I do like, you know, when you refer to us as we, it's the way it should be. Russell Martin, let's be honest about it, he set his stall out quite early on of the us and them type idea, you know, trying to create the sort of Kevin Bacon 6 degrees of separation kind of, you know, scenario where it would always be, you know, well, these are players, this has been long standing at this club that these players, you know, some of the ones, even though a lot of the ones that had come in the summer he brought in, you know, but this has been long standing that this club's been rubbish and it's nothing to do with me. I'm here trying to change the mentality. Whereas Danny Rowe hasn't took that tactic. He hasn't come in and went, listen, the last guy was an absolute shambles. These players are a shambles and I'm just trying to do my best to do what I can do with them. He is very much immersing himself in amongst it all. He does speak very, very well, Danny Rowe, you have to say, especially for a man whose first language is not English, being as, of course, he is German. So, you know, credit to him. I think that's a good attitude to have and instill in the players, because then, you know, you work for each other. As Martin,
I thought I had a bit of food in my tooth, but it turns out it was a bit of pepper.
Lovely.
So I've crunched it thinking it was a bit of food, and it's a pepper. No, that's rather quite painful. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm really struggling. Yeah, I agree with everything you said, Connor, even though halfway through I stopped the ability to be able to hear. Junkie72 has put in a super chat. Thank you very much. Hi, Martin. My name is Eddie, so I can call you Eddie if you now want instead of Chunky. Eddie, thank you very much for the super chat, big supporter of the channel. And John Garrett has joined as a CEO member on YouTube. Thank you very much, John, for the support. And Ollie Muirs has joined as a YouTube member as well. Thank you very much, Ollie, for the support. Blue Tie with the super chat. Magoma was brilliant in the first half until Beaton decided to quieten him down. Man of the match, Danilo's dad. Right, Mark. John Beaton. He really knows how to spoil a game of football, doesn't he?
Yes, he does. I think he tends to try and make it about himself. He likes to. He seems like quite a little dictator. He likes to shout and bawl and moan to the players, because I think the Hibs goalkeeper went to come towards him. He's like, "Why are you running at me?" He's proper shouting at him. You know, he does it with all the players. He thinks he's like a little dictator on the pitch. So I think he just ruins games when he gets in that mood, and that tends to be the way he goes for any game that he referees. So I think he tried to make it about himself a little bit, but what can you do? We know who they are. We know who the rest have got. So you can only deal with the ones that get our game. So I don't know. We weren't expecting anything different, were we?
No, but he was particularly poor tonight, Connor. For both teams, it has to be said.
Yeah.
He was poor for both teams, and a game that had such importance on it, especially for us and where we are in the table. Thankfully, it didn't cost us.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. He was. For me, it was too much of stop start every single time. You know, there was a player in the ground or it was whatever. It was just constantly, and you think, let the game flow. You know, there's no reason. Not every time a player shouts for a foul is it going to be a foul. You know, there's physical contact in games. I mean, there was a particular challenge at one point where I felt Chermiti's leaned in with a wee shoulder barge, taking the ball, and you know, he just blows, and you think, come on, it's football. There's going to be physical contact. He really didn't have the best of games at all for either side. you have to say, even the one where, and I'm not even sure what happened, where the keeper sort of ends up in the deck, and then he gets back up, and everybody's ready for him just to play the ball out. So Beaton doesn't have to stop play there; he can just wave it off and let it continue. Instead, he decides, I'm going to blow the whistle here and bring things to a halt. And understandably, the Hibs keeper gets a bit annoyed and kind of runs up to his face and goes, "What are you doing?" And you could literally, John Beaton actually shouted at him, going, "Why are you running up to me?" You're like, well, maybe because you're fucking useless. That might be a reason why. So yeah, I think he's just too fond of blowing his whistle. I don't know. Maybe he just didn't get enough toys when he was a kid and he's reliving his childhood. And I have no idea. But he does love, giving that a good old whistle.
Yes. Thank you very much, Blue Tie, for the support. Water, but for a super chat, thank you very much, Water. But finally ended unwanted away game goal concession. I mean, that is a fantastically worded sentence, by the way. Like that almost feels as if it belongs on a different podcast. That's far too eloquently put. But yeah, we discussed it earlier on, Mark. Keeping a clean sheet for us is absolutely huge, and maybe this free at the back's here to stay.
Oh, it's like gold dust. I was keeping a clean sheet, so maybe it is. If it's working, why fix it? I think that'd be my motto going forward until such times as it doesn't work, and you've got the players that can fulfil that role. Then why change it?
Until that one time it doesn't work after like 9 victories in a row, and we all go right, get rid of that back three. Yeah. Yes.
Go back to a flat back four. Let's go.
Can I just say a big, massive thank you, by the way, to Stuart Brook, who has joined the co-owner tier. So, Stuart, thank you so much for the extra support, my friend. It really does mean a lot. Thank you very, very much. Hope you enjoy all the extra content. And that's a massive, absolutely massive. Yeah, right. And the reason why I'm kind of hesitant to go on is because I really don't want to be negative at all. Even though, Connor, there is certain things that we do need to pull apart. We won't be doing that tonight, but there is certain things that we do need to pull apart. Penalty aside, right? We'll come to the penalty, but penalty aside, Connor, your namesake was, for me, head and shoulders the best player on the park tonight. And he was about to be taken off because he was absolutely exhausted before he gave away that penalty. So he was about to be taken off the park because he could barely move. He was that exhausted. So out with the penalty, right? And I say that because I know that you'll reference it somehow in your answer. I thought Connor Barron was outstanding.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, we'll obviously come on to the penalty. We'll take.
I knew you'd have to mention it somehow. You couldn't
just because you mentioned it. All I'm saying is
outstanding, Martin. Best player.
All I'm saying is we will obviously. Yeah, all I'm saying is we will obviously. No, all I'm saying is we will obviously discuss it because there's been quite a raging debate about whose fault it is in the chat. So I think it'll be an interesting conversation. However, putting that in the back burner for the time being, yeah, I thought he was really, really good today, Connor Barron. I thought he was solid in the middle of the park. I really think he was controlling things an awful lot. I don't like that you've just completely changed their positions there, Martin. That's threw me off. Thanks for that. But I did say earlier, when I was talking about Jig earlier, I think Paul McGorrick had said, well, what about Barron? I did say my man of the match today would have been Barron or Jiga. I think Barron probably would have got the nod just slightly ahead of him because I think he was so important to how well the actual system worked today in the middle of the park. And you know what? That's what Barron is. It baffled me in the early part of the season the lack of game time he was getting under Russell Martin at times. I couldn't quite understand because the one thing Connor Barron will always give you is he'll always run his socks off for you. He'll run himself into the ground. He's all over that midfield, and he was there again tonight. Excuse me, he had different challenges that he had to deal with as well, which isn't easy, particularly when Hibs bring on the pace of a guy like Martin Boyle, for example, in their midfield. But I thought Barron handled everything that was thrown at him today. I really did. And listen, he's still a young man as well. And I think there could be big things for him. Genuinely, if we had a midfield set up, going forward, looking at Barron, Cameron, Raskin, I think they're all fantastic options in that midfield. And Barron, what I like about Barron is he does good defensive parts of the game as well. Because he is more a defensively minded midfielder, his cover, I think, in the defence is great. And I thought it was a terrific performance tonight from him.
Every blade of grass, Mark, every single, whether it was in defence or whether it was just outside the box. And as the sniper said, no one protects the back line like Conor Barron. Honestly, it's so good to see that from a young Scottish player as well.
Aye, that's one of the main things I like about him. That he's Scottish. He's homegrown in Scotland, and he's everywhere. He's all over the place. He runs himself into the ground. He throws himself into challenges. He's a disruptor, is what he is. He gets the ball at the back before it gets to the defence, and he recycles it back up the pitch. He throws himself into challenges. He's up and down. He's all over the place, like you say. He was absolutely everywhere in that match, and he was just about to be taken off because he ran himself into the ground. So I have no qualms about playing Conor Barron. I think he's the type of player we need a few more of in the squad, at least, that can be rotated in and out of the first starting 11, because any successful Rangers team that I've known has had those type of players in it, regardless if they were Scottish. We always had a Scottish core, and they were the type of players you would get, and then you would get your foreign players with a bit of flair, a bit of class. But he was all over the place. I would give him the man of the match, regardless of what happened, obviously, just before the end of the game. So I'm quite happy with Barron. I think he done well.
He really did. And just this in for Shona, Conor, and I have to agree, Barron's reading of the game has improved.
100% it has, yeah. And again, natural for the young player. I think when you look at last season, there were times that you could see his reading of the game was maybe not there. But I agree with Shona 100%. I think his reading of the game has improved. I think he just, he seems to know at times what the opposing player is going to do before he knows what he's going to do. And I like that. I like that he can understand, well, there's plenty of cover there. That's where it's gone. That's where I'm going to be. And yet he won't always get it right, by the way, because sometimes things can switch up. But more often than not, he does. And that is one of the biggest areas of improvement in his game. I still think that I would like him to add 1 or 2 goals for the midfield, because you always need your midfield to contribute by way of goals or assists. So that's maybe just the slight other bit of improvement he can do. But yeah, absolutely. There's been a marked difference in his reading of the game.
Oh yeah, massive. Absolutely massive. I'll answer this one. Who's a better finisher, Martin? Defoe or Danilo? Defoe. Yeah. So I don't need to explain that one, do I? Jermaine Defoe. Loudrop's right boot. Our very own Ross has gifted 5 Rangers Rabble Podcast memberships. Fantastic support, Ross. Thank you very much, my friend. And Blue Tie. I was going to bring your other comment up, Blue Tie, but as he is now, I think it's better with a host in the middle. As he has now been a member for 4 months. If you want to upgrade your membership from the $1.99 month to the CEO membership, then it needs to be done on a desktop, not by phone. Therefore, worth it. I do think it's worth it as well, because the random rabble for me alone is probably worth it. But thank you very much, Blue Tie. Thank you very, very much, my friend. Right, I'm going to bring up Super Sal's in a wee minute, because it's a bit of a downer question for Super Sal, if I'm being brutally honest with you. But Mark, the penalty, have slips. Barron's coming back. Barron makes the mistake, and who was it he brung down again? I can't remember the boy's name.
Yuan,
yeah.
It's a stick-on penalty. No argument about it. It's the clearest penalty you'll see. And Jack Butland again this season steps up when we need him.
It was a clumsy penalty to concede. I think Tav took too long on the boy, so just cleared it, and he had a few opportunities. He's overplayed it, and then he slipped in his arse. And then Barron's forward momentum, because he's coming back, has took him into the player, and it's a definite penalty. But I don't know. I just had a feeling he was going to save it. I don't know what it was, but he did. Obviously, Super Jack saves us again, so I was happy with that. It just topped off, made the win just that little bit sweeter. And I think it made it better for the players. I think this could be a big game in the season for us, because of the way that we've won it and how the tide seems to have changed with the poor performances to look like a cohesive unit. So that penalty was a stick on, but he made it look easy to save. So I'm really pleased with that. But Tav, again, that's maybe your only negative, is that he held on to the ball too long when he could have cleared it. But I'm not going to give him too much shade for that, because we won. We got the 3 points. So
no, and these things will improve under Danny Rowe in the coming weeks. They absolutely will improve. And I mean, he even mentioned it in his post-match there. What was it he said? That we're not clean enough at creating chances. We're just not very good at it right now. And that will absolutely 100% get better. There was something I wanted to bring up with you, Connor, and I couldn't remember what it was. But
Am I okay to say the penalty?
I mean, I thought it was pretty cut and dry, Connor, to be honest with you. But yeah, Jack Butland, if you want to make the good people watching this show who are ready to go to their bed, if you want to keep them hanging on longer, you fire in, Connor.
No, listen, I agree with Mark. I think, and I do stand corrected, I had the chat's right, it was Hoylett, not you, and I just checked it there on the BBC's website, and so I got that wrong. But no, I think it's more from the point of view, there was a bit of a region debate going on in the chat earlier on about whose fault the penalty was, and still a couple there. Look, Tav slips. He should do better. Nobody disputes that. I did say before we come on, he wasn't the only one who was slipping about that park tonight. There was a few. So, I think there's maybe something to be said there, but the pitch was a wee bit, only water or this cold weather. I don't know. But again, he should still do better. However, I think ultimately Barron makes the challenge that brings Hoylett down. And actually, it's not even so much he makes the challenge. It's just when he sticks the leg in, he just kind of leaves it. And Hoylett, Hibs wish they had Hoylett. Hoylett is clever. He knows what he's doing. He sort of initiates a wee bit of contact himself. It's a Stonewall penalty, and then Jack Butland, it's a brilliant save for him. I know he says it's pot up. It's a really good save. I do wonder though if we're in the territory of VAR just deciding to do VAR checks for the sake of it, because as soon as he saved it, when the commentary team said Don Robertson was checking it for what, you could see a mile off that his left boot, trailing boot, was still on the line. But nonetheless, I think Aaron just needs to maybe not leave his leg in there. But yeah, it is a Stonewall penalty kick.
It really is. But Super Jack, like you say, steps up, saves the day, because it would have been another here we go again moment. But that leads us into Sunday perfectly, and the confidence it gives this Rangers team going into Sunday as well, I don't think can be understated. Now, plenty to talk about in the Morning Rabble tomorrow at 10 a.m, the members show, where you get to phone in and have your say. And then we're back tomorrow afternoon at 12:30. And then we've got a special members show tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, the Rabble Reports, which is all about the distinction between the manager and the head coach. And no doubt there'll be a bit of Rangers chat about this game and looking ahead to the game at the League Cup semi-final at the weekend as well. So there is so much more coming your way tomorrow, and then Friday, and then Saturday, and then Sunday. We're on 7 days a week, 20 odd shows a week. I've even lost count how many shows we've got. Ranges from EPL shows, plenty of Rangers shows, wrestling shows, extreme gaming. I'm missing shows out because there's just that many. So thank you everybody for tuning in. Can I just ask, before you disappear and you jump off the stream, if you could give the show a like and subscribe, it really, really does help the show out. And if you want to become a member and get access to all those extra shows, we'll do that in a wee second before we go. Right? Thanks, Connor. Right? Keeping people up yet again. If you want to help out the show a little bit more, then click the link in the description. You can become a member and get access to those shows and help support independent Rangers media as well. Right, Connor, do you want to bring your comment back up? People want to get to their bed.
If the fine folks in the comment section who so graciously give up their time ask us a question, I think it's incumbent upon us that we at least provide them an answer, particularly one that won't take very long.
Here's the thing, Connor. I've just said that we've got like 1,000 shows a week, so we do need content for those.
Yeah, but see, any good host, Martin, would just bring that up and say, Connor, Mark, in a word, Will we beat Celtic on Sunday?
Yes, but when we get a good host on the Rabble, then that will start happening. But Connor, do you think we'll beat them on Sunday?
Yeah, actually, I do. I think their form. Yeah, they beat Falkirk tonight, and fair play to them. But I really think we will. I think we are
the mighty Falkirk at home.
Yeah, and the thing is, we are on an upward trajectory just now. Celtic are going through a bit of a moment, and I think we need to capitalise on that. Don't get me wrong, need a strong start, but I think we will. I certainly hope we will, because Martin O'Neill, on the radio the other day there before he took the Celtic job, was literally saying that Rangers are absolutely zero threat at all to Celtic this season. So I think that if we can beat them, it would put the cat amongst the pigeons. So why not?
And that was a fantastic one-word answer from Connor there, Jordy. You are right.
Well, Jordy, I said a good host would say that. That's not what Martin said.
And I told you there is no good hosts on the Rabble, so I really don't know where you're going with that.
It was a yes, John.
Well, we can speak about Chermiti, we can speak about Majovsky, we can speak about Gassama in more depth, and we will do that tomorrow. That I do promise. But Mark, one-word answer, Mark. Right, Connor, this is how it's done. Wait till you see this. Right, wait till you see Mark's answer here. Right. Are we going to beat them on Sunday?
Aye.
I mean, how? Wow. Wow. That's unbelievable, by the way. Absolutely unbelievable. Right, folks. And by the way, see if they beat us now. This is getting clapped. I'm not giving an answer. Right, folks. Away to your bed. Thank you very much. Enjoy. Or if you're staying up, enjoy the rest of your night. Rangers do win 2 games in a row. Yes, we do win away from home. Yes, we do keep a clean sheet. And yes, we are up to the dizzy heights of third in the table. What more could you ask for? I was going to say Thursday night there, but I didn't. For a Wednesday night, what more could you ask for, folks? So yeah, thank you so much for all the support. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Follow us on all the socials. Join as a member if you want to and get access to extra shows. All the information you need is down in the description. And folks, thank you, and we shall speak very, very soon.